Yeah, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Much anticipated by many of you, and I want to welcome our special guest, White Dragon, aka Paul, and Diana Bowles, aka Oil Painter, to the show. Thank you both for being here.
You're
Well,
welcome. So glad to
thank you
be here.
for inviting me, and
Of course.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're really happy to have you, and so many of them that come to the Dream Show are happy to see you. I think so. They're all kind of
Yeah,
waiting
I'm as
here.
ugly as I thought I was going to be. So,
Wow. So yeah, today we're going to have a sort of an organic discussion about lots of different things, because that's fun when that happens. Diana has some information to share. I know Paul will probably be sharing, and but before we begin, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat and thank you all for being here. You blessed people, and we appreciate you. Yeah. And I want to find out before we get started, if just for me to know and the others to know a little bit about what brought you into this realm of interest, Paul. Well, I mean, did this start when you were a kid? Did it start with a sighting, or give us a little bit
oh,
of
not really. I had
you know?
I used to go to this meditation group, and then they, in one of those meditation, we went to a place called the Great Silence, and nobody wanted to leave. I mean, for
Oh
me, it was
wow.
like a big long hallway with doors on either side. So I
Uh-huh.
started poking in there, and I found a helmet, and I found a sword, and I picked it up, and then and the other times I went there, it was I call it a suit. It was really a space suit, and then at that time I go, oh God, I hope I'm not one of these three eyeballs and three and two of those aliens or something like that. And
Yeah.
there was a chip in there, and I had that upgraded to my
Uh-huh.
version of what it is now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, it kind of like grew together. And then I met Dr. Gill, and Dr. Gill helped me a lot with all this kind of stuff, and
Hmm.
kind of like realizing things and things that happen. And that's how it started, a little bit at a
Sure.
time. Kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
That's wonderful. I mean, and of course, myself, I saw a UFO when I was about 10. And it was, I never forgot it. It's one of those experiences that you don't forget. It's like it happened yesterday and you can remember everything about it. But, the more and more we believe in these types of things, the more open we are to receiving guidance, visions, and more from the other side of the galaxy and other places. So that's fabulous. I'm glad that you were able to do that, Paul. I know that your insights and your wisdom have been shared in the chat for a very long time. And we just look forward to having you with us, sitting there, whether you're in the chat or you're sitting there with a beautiful spaceship behind you.
I'm, I'm surprised that people want to hear what I got to say.
No, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Diana is also very key to this whole process. I mean, she's very much involved, and
Yes. Yeah.
we call her the singing and dancing warrior,
Yeah.
because she does that. I mean,
Yeah.
you ever
Yeah.
seen the old cartoons with Bugs Bunny with the tutu dancing and singing, and goes up to Elmer Fudd with a gun, and he goes, "Da, da, 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 pa, pa." That's her.
Uh,
The bad guys go, oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
what's
Yeah.
wrong with this
I can,
woman?
I can relate.
That's Diana.
That's funny.
That's
It kind of
awesome.
feels the way I grew up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. This is awesome. Yes, Diane says, you say a lot of interesting stuff, White Dragon.
I,
What?
I mean, a lot of the stuff I just like blurted out because it comes to me, and then I go, "Oh God, I can't imagine. I can't believe I said that."
It's coming from that intuitive place, though, Paul. It's not something you're making. I think we all grapple with that when we start saying things and we don't know where exactly it comes from. But you're not alone. Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
alone. Yeah. Did you name yourself White Dragon, or was that a name that someone else gave you?
No, no, no. I mean, I was trained by Archangel Michael,
Okay. Yep.
and that's been going for a long time. And I thought, we would just do things, go out on outings, adventures, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the adventures was we had to go rescue a white dragon, and it was
Oh.
in the London Underground. The real city of London is ringed by it's like its own entity in the middle of London, and it's got its own government and everything. The king has to ask for permission to go in there.
Oh.
And it's got statues of dragons all the way around. And it deep underground, they were using these dragons to to torture them for the light. So we went in there. I mean, this was 1,000 people went down there with me. It was, and there was we just rescue you. You ever the kind of like what the Harry Potter film did when they went out of Gringotts with that white, and it was kind of like that, except there were 3 more, so there's 4 of them. And as a kind of like, and they became my friends, and we did a lot of stuff. And I say, I said honor to them. I say, well, I'll pick White Dragon. That's my name. It has nothing to do with the other guys.
I understand.
Maybe call White Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that, and dragons. The first person that I started hearing talking about dragons was Valerie Bradshaw. She started talking about it more and more, and then a lot of other people started asking questions about dragons. And so they are that beautiful. I don't know. So I guess they're part of our elementals, I would say. So
what I found out is that mythical creatures are real.
Oh, I do believe
they're
that.
just not in the 3D sense, even though there have been some sightings, especially like around China and places like that. You can see some of that stuff in videos. I don't know if they're 3Ds or not, but they look kind of real to me. Or dragons. So I know that they're around. They're not very popular or visible.
Right. Yeah. That's wonderful. Carl was asking Diana, was this the Paul you mentioned last year with us in a Viking ship? Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yes.
It was? Okay. Yeah. All right. There you go, Carl. There's your answer. All right. That's awesome. So today, Donna Marie, I was called to do a short video on solar flares. And it's interesting that you're asking, you've been really sick for 4 days. You haven't been this sick since you were a kid. Diana?
Honey, I have been this sick since I was a kid.
Poor Diane. I really feel sorry for her.
This is how I spent my childhood. Because nobody knew that everybody can have systemic lupus. I'm not saying that's what you have, but I was in constant pain. So I'm a kid from the 50s. And what was that like? Well, I grew up in industrial Detroit, filled with dirt in the air. The iron ore from the smelting plant down at Zug Island for Body by Fisher, and all of the GM plant and Studebaker, and all of them, they were all Chrysler, all right down in that near river that carried the air, and held it, because Canada's on one side, a mile away on the other side is Detroit.
Yeah.
And that tunnel just kept it hanging right there.
Sure.
So in that, I can remember being about 4 years old, and that was it. I couldn't go out. I had no energy. Energy would be lost. And I can remember about the 59, 60, as I was turning 10 years old, I couldn't move. Now, I haven't gone back to look historically, but certainly was not under treatment for lupus at that time. I used to have seizures, and every time they would test me for epilepsy, there was no epilepsy.
Oh, wow.
And, right?
Yeah.
And so what was going on in that time frame? Well, that would have been 1959, 1960, and we were in a solar maximum, which was nothing like this, but I was in an area where the protective plasma was being burned up, and being clouded from getting down to us because of all the smog.
Sure. Oh, I remember
But no,
seeing
right.
pictures of the areas of New York. You can even
Right.
see them now. And
Yep.
just the smog, no one could breathe. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't, you couldn't. And
No.
and winded all the time and no energy. And quite honestly, I preferred to be in the dark during the summer. I would play in a corner of the living room with the drapes closed in this little cubby hole where my brothers couldn't get to my toys. and I felt safer there just because it was dark. I
Yep.
didn't like the light. And so my own body and mind were already telling me something at that point. Now, I love the sunlight, don't get me wrong, but I can't handle the radiation. And this solar storm that we just went through, that was a level 4, geomagnetic storm level 4, that hit Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yeah. Knocked out everything. Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
it smashed into there, but you don't think it ricocheted all around us like a volcano?
Oh, sure.
Like, you know,
we are affected.
A meteorite hitting the earth isn't going to leave a dent just where it hit.
Sure.
It's going to blow shit apart.
All right. That's what it's going to do. Blow shit apart.
What it's going to do. Yeah. So from that is where I had just said it to Allie. I felt like this when I was a kid. This is how I spent my childhood.
Yeah.
Just before we came on.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like, you know, and of course we're going through the ascension, which couldn't help either.
No. Well, right. And now I'm 76, so that makes it even harder.
Sure, it makes it more difficult. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Sue Toffee. Thank you for your donation. That's very kind of you. So Annie wants to know, Paul, did you enter your spiritual realm through dreams and meditation?
Not really. I'm not a real meditator. I've tried, but I'm not that much into it. To me, meditation it's doing things, and it's not just closing your eyes and staying still. I mean, that's.
Oh no, me either. No, me either.
Yeah, walking.
I've been doing this kind of stuff since the 70s. You know, when I got involved with the Yogananda people, and you know, it just progressed from there on.
Well, and you know, there is such a thing as working meditation, walking meditation. That's some of us have to do it that way.
Yep, that's very
I
true.
I go to the mornings, Terry and the meditation tribe things. You know, I really enjoy the community of the chats of the people there. And when she meditates, I just like, okay, so I'm not really meditating; I'm just listening.
Yeah. No, it's less forced that way.
But you're listening.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's more of a guided meditation anyway with Terry.
Right.
Walking you through it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So you know, go back to the solar things. You know, I responded to that. That thing. And one of the things that has happened is, you know, the solar system. The sun throws out all kinds of junk all the time, so it's cyclical. I mean, this is not like something outside extraordinary. There's some people who are out there trying to get people scared to death about, well, everybody's going to die, and
no,
trying to get the scare thing going. No, because I have asked the ship, especially the Athena, and I said, you know, what do you do? And she has standing orders to extend her shields to cover the earth if something big, I mean, I'm talking something that could wipe out life on earth. It's going to happen. She will stay in the way. And it apparently that has happened before. I mean, we have missed a huge asteroid a few years ago that came in between the orbits of the moon and the earth, and it was heading straight for us, and all of a sudden it changed by a few fractions of a degree and missed us. So I asked the ship, I said, hey, I deflected it to make sure it didn't hit. So I mean, that kind of stuff is happening right now. And the Carrington event that you talked about, I mean, that has already happened one more time, but we didn't get it so bad because
think it was 2003,
Yeah.
wasn't it, Paul? It was something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
It got
Yeah.
mitigated. It got mitigated. So I
Yes.
mean, it's
Yeah.
those are the standing orders that she has. And I
Uh-huh.
asked, and I said, "Well, thank you for letting me know."
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
So
for your cooperation.
I don't expect those kinds of events to happen because, when you look at timelines and things like that, there were a lot of people messing around with the timelines, and creating timelines to do certain things to come out with certain advantages here and there. But Michael said, no, we're not going to do that. So he's been merging all these timelines together, and we're on the right one right now that has the best chance of success.
Okay.
That's what he's taking.
And here's where the cyclical orbits of all the planets come into play. We're heading into Saturn standing up on its rings. So they're going to feel like invisible. But all planets have a tilt to their orbit that comes and goes. And this cycle with Saturn just happens to coincide with what we call the Saturn return. Only with that one, instead of 29, 30 years, it's definitely at 30 years that this cycle happens. So that's where we are right now. When we go through the summer with Saturn, it's going to get that tilt. But the rings don't disappear. They're still there, and they'll be visible again as soon as it gets uprighted. Or right-righted.
Right-righted. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well,
Diana.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Paul.
Yeah, one of the topics that I wanted to hit briefly on was the Galactic War that.
Okay.
We've been. There's been a galactic war going on for a long time, and it's with the Draconian Empire, and these are like lizard type aliens that originated in the Draco part of the constellations. They're not necessarily reptilians, but they're in the same kind of group. I mean, reptilians are not necessarily all bad. There's some very good reptilians and there's some bad ones, but most of them, you can't say that they're all bad. But the Draconians, I kind of tend to believe that they're not very good, because I have never come across one that has been good. So there may be some, I don't know of any. So, there's been a war, and, they got booted out of the planet Earth about 3 years ago. All of them got kicked out.
Mothman.
And then they kept chasing them out. They kept chasing them out. I mean, they went to Jupiter, and there was a big base in Jupiter, and all of a sudden, they left. So they can't, they got all angry. So they came back with an armada, and obviously they got defeated miserably, and they lost it all. And then every time they have tried a stunt like that, they keep losing territory. I mean, there's been 3 of those attacks that, they lost one. The galaxy has 2 arms. We're like 2/3 down one of the arms. Well, the first one, they lost almost the entire arm. The second one, they lost that whole arm. Control. I'm talking about control. They're not all gone. Control of that and part of the other arm. And then the last one, which was the big one that Diana knows about. I mean, that happened just recently. I mean, everybody got they lost the entire galaxy. So they don't have control. They're still around and they're fragmented, but they're not a threat like they were before.
Right. Well, they have to come back and get a couple of the passengers they left behind.
Yeah.
And they
well, Play says, do they attach themselves to MAGA? And of course, if you've got lower energy, isn't that what some of these guys attach themselves to?
They're like the Draco worms.
The what?
The Draco worms that bore themselves into things and energies that are carried on the wings of MAGA.
I've been subject to a lot of psychic attacks and things like that. So I've got an extensive security team And I even have four reptilian guards that Michael gave me. These things are huge. They're like 9 feet tall, and they got muscles on top of muscles. I mean, you don't want to mess with them. So, as far as the question with MAGA, I mean, I can touch a little bit of that political area if it's okay with you, Ali.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, remember when I'll call him Baba Yaga. When Baba Yaga was threatening to start nuclear war and all this stuff over Ukraine, I said that's enough. You know, I can't do that. So I went straight to the council, and I presented them a case, and they started doing their own little council things. And I go, oh, God, this is going south quick. And then they stopped, and I looked behind me, and Michael's standing behind me, not saying a word. And then after he stood there for a little bit, I heard granted. And what it is that they decided that Baba Yaga was going to be removed from the planet.
Oh, okay.
They question this. I don't know. There's not a timeline in there. I couldn't get them to give me a timeline.
Oh, commit to a timeline. Okay.
So, I mean, he kept at it. And so I went back, and I really let him have it. I really let him have it. And I fully expected to lose my command and everything over it. So when I left, I just stood outside the big doors. When they closed, I left. And then Michael comes out, and I said, well, did they kick me out? He goes, no, you still got your position, but they are very furiously talking about it. he says I lit a fire underneath them. So
good for you.
I mean, that's my thing with the council. I mean, I'm not too happy with the way that they're doing it, but you know, they look at times in different ways.
Sure.
And then as far as the other guy, the orange monkey, I can't touch him. I mean, Michael doesn't allow it for now, for whatever the reason. I have no idea. I don't have I don't have a answer for that. And
that's understandable.
If he says no, it's no.
Right. Yeah.
For now.
For now. Right. For now. There's a lot of karma going on. Absolutely. A lot of things that are coming back around. So.
Right.
Wow.
There's a lot of crazy stuff. And I just don't watch the news because it just upsets me. It really
of course. Rose says she channeled a message about reptilians, and it's definitely dark. Yeah. Well,
some reptilians are dark. I'm not saying they're not.
But
the ones I deal with, they have been vetted by Archangel Michael himself. Otherwise,
he's not going to allow that in. Yeah.
I was not going to allow reptilians to be around me.
Sure.
But, you know, he said these are your guards, and I agree with him. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I talk to them, and the main leader's name is Worf, like in Star Trek, Worf.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He calls me boss.
Okay.
And I said, no, I'm not your boss. Your boss is this other guy over here who's running the whole show.
Sure.
He still calls me boss. So, and he doesn't say a lot of words either.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. So Sally wonders, she says, you've said the meditation tribe is more important than we know. She wonders, can you speak to the role of those that you're aware of, Paul, in the meditation tribe? Yeah.
Well, the collective is what's important. You know, everybody points their energies in a certain ways. There's a lot of people who are very, very involved in all of these happenings with the galactic area, and you know, a lot of them are in the medical field. A lot of them are not. They're into the military field, and there's going to be a few promotions coming up too. I just don't know who. I think I have some clue as to who's going to be taking my position, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's been decided yet.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lady. It's going to be a lady, and most of that team is ladies. Anyways, I mean, there's a couple of guys here and there, but I mean, it's mostly ladies.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. But stronger together is absolutely true. We see that throughout the threads of all the shows, really. So
Diana with her visions and all the dreams that she has. I mean, there's a lot of, like she calls them, crossovers with stuff like that.
yeah.
Right. Right. We're I don't want to say Amazonian in nature,
Mm-hmm.
but we are definitely the Vestal Virgins. You know, if you think of the Wonder Woman planet, which is basically an Amazonian planet, we could survive with on our own. We had to take care of ourselves, right? Our men disappeared. So you take those kind of legends that really nobody can prove really
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just too logical not to have been written somewhere, whether it's just in the memory, it's
Mm-hmm.
not just the imagination.
Uh-huh.
It's all too real. It happens far too often. You know, the correlation between energies and frequency and vibration and color and numbers and even
Mm-hmm.
letters and
Yep.
symbols and sigils. And this means this and this means this.
Mm-hmm.
I found a definition that refers to it as pansperma. And this is the theory that life originates in space. The spatial ices and continually are being continuously distributed to planets and comets and meteorites by comets and meteorites.
Mm-hmm.
So according to this, instead of living forms such as amino acids and sugars and molecules that are required to form the RNA, it's produced in space and falls through space to planets, carried by comets, carried by meteorites. And we all seem to have this vague memory, this ability to understand a language that has no language. Nothing on Earth is similar to it, unless you go way back into, you know, Aramaic, that is a lost language. Very few people can interpret Aramaic
Mm-hmm.
or understand it. So, you know, when I think of that, it's we fell from somewhere. We definitely
Absolutely.
fell from somewhere. Beetlejuice and booties and Rajal and Regal, whatever, however you want to say it. Plus all the other fixed stars and points in the sky that are marked for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, to answer Diane G, yeah, I think so too. I mean, she talks a lot about Taygeta, and Taygeta is in the Pleiades, and that she's involved in that area. So yeah, I mean, this could be possible. I mean, I don't know for 100% here, but you know, on the other side, sure, I know. So I have probably had a say in it, but you know, it's just if it is you will know, because you will feel it. I mean, especially if you put in command positions, you will know that you're commanding. I mean, I felt it. I felt it. I mean, I told Gail, I said, "Hey, Gail, I feel the weight of it." She goes, "Oh yeah, well, that's what happens." I mean, Gail's been through it before, so she knows. She's kind of like doing a lot of consulting on you know, behind closed doors with all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Wow.
The one I was sure about was Diana. She got promoted not too long ago. Because she felt it.
Well, and that there was that whole dream that came together with it that was actually a prediction for the Palisades fires in Hollywood.
True. That's true. Yeah.
It just, the way it all fell together. It was a battle that I felt that I was in to begin with, and then all of the markings and numbers and dates that all of this happened and things that he had said put together the prophecy of that dream as well. And And that fire, that wasn't just a battle against nature.
Mm-hmm.
That fire was started purposefully by one of, you tell me, Paul, which one? Which Drac did that?
I mean, your activity is mostly on the Earth's side. You don't get to go too far.
Uh-huh.
Because that's, I mean, you're helping with a lot of things with the conflicts that are acting on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of activity that's going on with the planet. I mean, up until about eight months ago, I was really worried that there was going to be a nuclear war. For some reason, that was mitigated. I mean, the chances of that happening now are way less than they used to be a few months about 9 months ago. It was really high. So I mean, there was a lot of activity that was happening on the atmosphere where it was a lot of monitoring, and there were people ready to pounce and stop it if it ever got to that point. But it's not something that I would be worried about at this point.
Okay.
It's so, if somebody's worried about it, say no. I mean, there's a lot of people who are really more in a position to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
that's really something
news.
to. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that a lot of people don't even know about. That it's. I mean, I have to be careful what I say too, but
I understand when we don't want you to have to feel like locked in. Yeah, just say I can't talk about it.
I can just say that the way things have been moving and moving in a certain way, it's very positive.
That's good.
Even when you look at what's happening here with this government and all this kind of stuff, it's like I mean, I was told there's nothing that guy can do to stop what's coming. Zero.
Okay. Well, I believe that.
It's like reeling in a marlin. Yes.
And it smells like fish too. Yeah.
Especially if you've ever read Islands in the what is it?
No, it's Hemingway's book. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever read that, that guy fights that fish for how long? Or the old man in the sea.
The old man in the sea. Yeah.
And eventually you do land it.
You do, but in dragging it back home, there's nothing left.
That's right. And who cares? With that, who cares?
Yeah, I sent Allie a little thing, a little email about a little bit of galactic history that I've been piecing together for a long time. I mean, this most of the stuff came through in the Akashic readings that I did with Diana back in her shows. And she was involved back then too. So it's like she's not totally without being involved.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, right? I knew that. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, one time I'm in a dream and oh my God, they're taking me on a tour of a ship and they say, look, there's Dr. Gale. And it was when she was wearing her black and pink uniform. Had a pink stripe on it, and she was just beginning to be able to speak about all of her surgeries and the things that she was doing on other ships at nighttime, whatever. So I have had crossovers with her where I have seen her in my dreams. And I just, I just feel that I'm aware of it, but there's also this other side of it. And it's like, I'm the bridge. In fact, I have a nickname somewhere with one of them that calls me the bridge. And it's because I'm between the human nature and the above in order to bring that together. Just like the wisdom of Elena the Trods and Merlin, and the fact that these are downloads and messages that I get from them. They are very connected to that above.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That makes perfect sense because of their own magic and the magic they brought here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
And even with the dream shows, some of the stuff that I put in, like the one with the bed and that red swirl of whatever. Remember that one with those?
Yeah, it's in a
Mhm.
different book, but
That's
yeah.
one of the attempts where they tried to knock me out, but they couldn't do it. I mean, it was almost overwhelming because they threw so much at me. So Michael said, step back, I'll handle it, and he did. I mean, that cost him several million of them. I mean, the last battle that they had, their casualties were in the trillions.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
and they don't nothing dies. Okay, so they take them to this place I call processing. It's this huge place where they figure out what to do with these people or creatures, whatever. And it's not just the reptilians and the draconians, and a lot of people get upset because I call them that they're probably bad. Well, I can't make anybody be good or bad. I'm sorry. I just have to tell you the way they are. And from what I know, a lot of them wind up going through the second death, which is when that's it. That individuality, it's gone. And they take that energy back to source.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That's final. That's permanent. It's not.
Yeah. Wow.
It's Pinky in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting that back in the 90s, there were a lot of books out by Barbara Marcionic, Barbara Hanclow,
Yeah.
we the Arcturians and the Palladians, and it was there was so much on the mass market that you could read about, and then there was nothing, and it's just fascinating to me. I don't know if that was a time for them to step back, or really what happened with that.
I found a couple of old ones from the 70s. And mostly because of this Elvis book. And
right.
So I've got them. I haven't read them all, but one of them was really important because this married couple had come up with the checklist of how to tell if you're an alien. What your background, where do you come from? So when I look at myself, I relate to Arcturian, to Palladian, to Buddhist, to the other one is Hadarian. I look in the mirror, and though both my eyes are the same color, one's up here and one's down there. You can't tell that with these, and you can't tell that when we're on TV. But I really know my face is definitely asymmetrical, including my jaw. One side is narrower than the other. And so, tricks of the trade, makeup and eyeliner and all that stuff makes it look more balanced, because it's almost like, what are you doing on this planet? That's how I often feel, like a Picasso painting.
Sure. I had up Charlie's question about the Anunnaki, and then it went away, so I'm sorry. But do you know if she was wondering if they still are here, or have they left and gone back? I believe they came from planet Marduk, and I don't know if Marduk is even within this. I don't know. I think it's in this solar system.
As far as I know, I think they're all gone.
Okay.
They got recalled because what they were doing. I mean, they were responsible for changing the DNA of the people that were here on the Earth, and they did it to try to turn them into kind of like workers and slaves and whatever.
Well,
so it's not. I don't think they were very nice in that area, but I'm not so sure that they're all bad.
Well, and let's look at it this way. So I'm going to bring up the Hopi prophecy here. And I want to first start with similarities in languages from people that had no connection. Like the word for sun in Japanese is the same word for moon for another Aborigine somewhere in the South. And their word for sun is the reversed, and is the word for moon in this other culture. Now, when you look at the Anunnaki, what do we have? Anunnaki, right? You've seen it written.
Yep.
When we go to the Hopi prophecies, who goes underground? The Anunnaki. Two words that are the ant people. So I have this theory. Okay, that this is all of these lives, the ant people come back because it's like Noah's Ark.
Yes.
If you're good, you're coming with me. You're going to be an ant people until we can go back and repopulate. And they pull from all of these different races and go underground as Anunnaki.
Okay.
Now, if we look at the Zoroasters as being the giants and the Anunnaki, the good ones were saved from the destruction and went underground. And the bad ones blew up, took off, were detailed and gone.
Yeah. A long time ago, I was told by somebody that it could see interdimensionally, and we became friends. And he told me that the Anunnaki is not just one race; it's several races.
Yeah.
Okay. And some of them are like pretty dark. I don't remember if you ever remember a show called Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And there was some creatures in there that looked like black crabs or the shadows. It's called. He says that they kind of look like that, and they're not very nice. So, he said don't go near them. So, but I'm not so sure that they're all bad though.
Yeah, it's like it's like everybody. It's like races today. It's like human nature. We are the star seed, right? Yeah. They fell to us and seeded us, and it's in our DNA or RNA or whatever it is that it takes to create a human life form.
Sure. Yeah, it's like a grace. It's like those grays that were, taking people and forcibly
right
for them and stuff. I mean, that's pretty much has stopped.
It has. Yeah.
That pretty much has stopped. And there was one particular gray lady who stopped. She didn't want to stop because she thought that she was above everything. And she got picked up, and her clan got picked up and booted out. And the rest of her clan was given very stiff. I'm talking very stiff warnings, and they're being watched right now. I mean, that's just a rare case, but most of that activity has stopped, and to me personally, because they were taking children, and that every time you touch a child, I mean, those are fighting words with me. I'm sorry,
sure,
those are fighting words, and I'm not gonna put up with that. I mean, that's some of the stuff that the Dracs, I call them Dracs. I mean, when they first got booted out, I mean, there was a big operation to rescue, and we rescued several thousand kids and some adult humans. And you don't want to know. You don't want to. I try to tell Dr. Gell, hey, this is, and she don't want to hear. And I say, listen, you are in the medical side. You're going to see what they did. And she goes, I don't want to know. So I mean, they got into Mount Shasta as an overflow because there were so many of them. She said that each child got a team of about 100 specialists trying to help them out. That's how bad in shape they were. But I mean, most of them get put back together and returned. I don't know where, but they got returned.
Or just go back through, go back and get a new show contract and then return.
Right.
This is really linked together. Can we all put it together? I can put it together in my head and understand it. Can I repeat what I see? Not always. But the Dracs, the bad ones, I think, are the Mothman.
The Mothman?
The Mothman, yeah.
Those are, as far as I know, those are cryptids. Well, they call them cryptids, but I think they're just aliens that came back here. I don't know what the purpose are.
But there's many different races.
That's true. That's
there's
very
the big butts, and some more are nastier than others, and there's also other nastier things in the forest that look like wolves that are 9 feet tall, walking 2 legs, and they're kind of like werewolves, and those are really nasty. I don't know what their purpose are, and other things. So I wouldn't want to be outside in those woods.
No, I know. Well, woods are scary enough, yeah. But it reminds me, though, if you watched the show back in the 80s, I think it was Travis Walton when he was taken up. And then we've had other people talking about that wouldn't that have been the Greys at that time? That was a big time when people were abducted and sort of probed and things like that.
Yeah, that was the 80s time, but a lot of that has really stopped. I don't have any. If anybody's being taken right now, I would say it's not the ETs. It's probably the humans who have other purposes, and I have no idea what those are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on right now, and you have no idea. So
I know. And it would probably freak out.
It's not me. I don't want to deal with it.
I understand. Yeah. Wow. Rose says she saw a show that revealed the wolf like creepy, scary. Isn't that what they're also saying is showing up at Skinwalker Ranch? I think it is. Isn't that
Skinwalker Ranch is a portal. It's
okay.
a portal up high in the sky.
Yeah.
And that portal has been it's an observational force, and it's also inside that mesa. The mesa that goes up and up there. It's inside there deep. There's some kind of craft, this ancient or something down there, that it's causing a lot of that activity to happen.
Okay.
Anunnaki.
Yeah. There was some lady who No Rivets, I think is the name of the channel. She does the remote viewing, and she did a thing. She did a long remote viewing on that, and that's basically what she said. But I kind of knew that. It was, it's something that's there. It's been there for a long time. And then they had that show on TV. It was kind of weird, and then the show stopped, and nobody, they lost.
Yeah.
People lost
you're right.
interest.
You're right. It did. Annie says, do you fly over Sally's place and know who's visiting her?
She's got like a intergalactic airport right in her backyard.
Well, we discovered the other day that she's pretty close to the 33rd parallel.
That's true. Yes. That's amazing.
I told her she's going to be seeing those creatures showing up to her. I saw a big old praying mantis behind her fence.
Oh,
there was a big old praying mantis peeking over. With a big, huge.
Oh, I love them. That was the very first alien I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the one that Kelly saw running down the street?
No. Actually, I have a picture of that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Some of those things are big. They're like 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
And she said she saw it, and I believe her. I have no reason not to.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
So, but the one I saw was in a different. It wasn't in the physical. It was there looking at her. And I told her, and she goes, "Oh my God, what are we going to do now?" I said, "Well, they're going to start seeing more."
Oh boy.
That's what she saw.
That's it. Okay. All right. Look at the arms on that thing. Oh my goodness.
Right? It's kind of like a spricket. Those bugs.
Yep. A spricket bug.
Those guys.
Okay. Oh, just like standing on their back legs.
Except they're standing 20 feet tall.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I was like, it was the summer I turned 5, so I was right around my 5th birthday, and there was this praying mantis. He had the body of a lubber, which is a beautiful dark blue grasshopper that has a yellow trim around its abdomen serrations and around the very edge of his side. And I looked at him and I got this big jump and a big smile. And he looked straight at me and I looked away just because I felt like if he's still there, then I know this is real. And I'm just a kid, right?
Sure.
And I look and he's still there. And I mean, he stood as tall as me. And even for 5 years old, I was fairly tall for being my age. So, you know, he's close to 4 feet tall. And I go, I'll be right back. And I go to get my mom. Well, of course, by the time I got back, it's, oh, Diana, you're just making it up. Stop dreaming, will you? Stop dreaming. But
that's,
I spoke to people every single night. I was talking to somebody. And even at times it was light language. Now, I can't speak light language. I lost the ability to do that because of something that happened to me when I was 24. And I had to step back. It wasn't even in the mystical realm that anything bad happened, but something happened. So I left and I was hiding on the side of a mountain in Colorado. And I was doing so much communing and getting in touch with Buddha and all of the ascended masters that I think that was their first time to decide I need to be left alone. And it was definitely changed after that. And I felt protection that I hadn't felt before.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've been on it on or off.
Yeah.
I think most people do that because
they do.
You get overwhelmed and then you go have like a rest and then you come back to it.
Yes. Yeah, I've done that too. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, everybody does that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
I agree.
You sent out here for a reason. I mean, you have to you have to have your own.
But you have to protect, right?
You have to have your own life. You can't just like do this 100% of the time. Now, since I'm retired now, and I have more time than I did before, so I can goof around a lot more with all these shows that I pop in and out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I just lurk. I don't say anything because a lot of the crazy stuff that I say, you better shut up.
There was just a picture that was shown here in Washington State. Somebody took in a cabin in Upper Washington, and it's 3 pictures, and it is a Bigfoot looking in the window, which I believe is also an ET. Right?
Yeah,
Bigfoot's also ETs. Yeah. But yeah.
They're doing something here in with the Earth underground.
Okay.
As far as I know, and they've been around for a while. I mean, the ones that are very dark hair, they don't like humans a lot because apparently in the past they haven't had good relations. But the ones that are kind of brown, they're okay. And then you sometimes you meet some that are white.
Okay. I don't think I knew that, but that's cool.
Yeah, white in color. But those are rare. Those are rare. Those are like the masters of the Bigfoot.
Sure. Wow. Yeah. I know my nephew's seen one, and he's not metaphysical, and he was very disturbed by it. He was out by himself.
If you live anywhere near the mountains, I mean, in Florida, there's no mountains.
Right.
But we still have them out in the Everglades. They call them
underneath. Yeah.
Cape. And I used to live way west of Miami for a long time, and there was this one lonely road that went through there, and there's been reports of them crossing that road.
Really?
And I was like half a mile away from my house.
Oh wow!
So it's
Yeah.
was,
That's amazing.
that was before I really got into all this crazy stuff.
Sure.
Harry
I
and
want to go ahead, Diana. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just saying Harry and the
The
Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Play Love, remember, have you ever met the beautiful golden galactic very tall beings? I met them during a cutting cords meditation, walking through the woods. I came to an open field and thought a mothership. Oh, wait a minute. Does she have more? You thought it was from a mothership? Okay.
Wait,
Here it was. Oh, it must be my imagination, and turned around and they were so tall and all gold, but I didn't see hands or feet.
Well, as far as I know, the gold beings are from the star system Solaris.
Okay. All
Which is
right.
that's about 160 light years away.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Where Michael sent me to learn how to fly the Athena.
Oh, wow.
I had to go for a month and a half. And I didn't know at
Uh-huh.
the time that's what I was doing. I thought it was just for a healing area, but no, they have a flight center over there too.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of those gold beings are stationed there. Now
They
I don't know if they're the same, but I mean I know
Mhm.
that they have a lot of them there. Dr. Gill knows more about them.
Okay. Diana said she has some information. What did you say there were 80 or more that were in your information, Diana? 80 or more
Oh my gosh.
ETs? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I was so excited to find this, so I haven't gotten through everything, but just now, because you mentioned these goldens, I was looking in here to see if they had golden. They don't. They call it the orange, God forbid. But what they are saying is that it is a human. It's takes sources refer to human type race with stalky yellow or orange hair, but I can't find anything on the goldens.
Okay.
But I have heard of them before, so I'm very surprised that it's not in here.
Uh-huh.
I had heard of. I mean, this wasn't me directly one time. Now, the same guy that I talked to you about a long time ago, where he said I started asking him about, hey, you know anything about a place called Nightmare Hall in the Mesa, in where they have this multi-level, facility for ETs and stuff, and he went there. And he said at the bottom of that there was a bunch of golden gorilla-looking things doing stuff for human scientists. And he finally wound up shutting that down. There was something else that happened there.
Okay.
And they found a Stargate down there. I didn't think those things could exist on the Earth. I thought that was only on the sun. So, but that got shut down.
Uh-huh.
The other time I came across a gold kind of being, which is one of my outings that I was doing some stealth work, and I kind of like blended into a wall, and this gray looking creature walked in front of me that was gold. I don't know if it was bad or good. I mean, it was just there. So I just let it walk past, and I was incognito.
Wow.
It feels like it's an angelic sense, right? Meaning, Kim.
Yeah. She said a gold was associated in a healing circle, and both were talking to Jesus, and I've always associated gold with the light from Jesus' hands.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct. That's correct. The gold ray is the Christ ray.
Okay. So she wonders if you have a sense where Jesus might be from.
Well, I think he's been everywhere. I mean, I associate him with the Palladians.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I met him one time, and it was in a big old room, and there was a bunch of old guys with big, huge beards and robes, like bald heads and everything. And they were all like in little groups talking to each other. And there was this one guy, this one young person that was like a teenager, maybe 15, 16 tops, who was dressed like a like a teenager in a t-shirt and shorts and flip flops and hair that down to here, no beard or nothing. I said, "That's Jesus." So I made a beeline to him. He was talking to these three old guys with beards, and I interrupted them. And I mean, I said, "Are you God?" And he turns around and looks at me, and he says, in his head, he didn't spoke. He says, "You ask me stuff that you already know the answer to."
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I know the answer. The answer is no. So, so that was when I met him. I mean, he's very practical. I'm so glad that you could tell he was him because by the vibration, not because of the way he looks.
Yeah, yeah, sure. There's that Christ vibration that is
And
must be
gold, by the
overwhelming.
way, gold is the Christ light. So
it's the Christ-like, and isn't it also associated with Metatron? Somebody asked.
Oh God, Metatron. He showed up lately.
Oh, he has. Okay.
Oh my, he's somehow I think he may be above Michael in this chemo thing. I thought Michael was tops there, but apparently he's Metatron deals with some of the forces that are more galactic wide. Michael's more like Earth kind of. He's concentrating on the Earth side.
Yeah,
he's more Earth kind of Earth system. This kind of small area because I asked him one time. I mean, he told me who he was, and I said, "Okay, so why'd you come back?" He goes, "Because I wanted to help." So basically, that's who he is. I mean, he chooses where he wants to work.
Yep.
Wow. So he's more close to the people itself. Now Metatron is more like a galactic wide, and there's like a galactic pressure. It feels like a pressure. It's a light pressure. It's all over the galaxy. And that's he had a lot to do with that. I don't know if people feel it. I do. I mean, I know it's there. That's probably the reason why the other guys lost control.
Could be. Yeah. Wow.
Because he's released this, and it's not just here; it's everywhere.
Wow. We are at the top of the hour, and a lot of people are, what am I? Am I Pleiadian? Am I? Will I be knowing what we're going to do with the Galactics? Am I going to get a ship? And
well, I would say one thing: if you do get promoted and you move up in the ranks, you will get your own ship. I mean, Diana has her own funky ship. The Viceroy.
Yeah, I can show you my funky ship.
It's a funky ship, let me tell you.
It looks like a lollipop. Lollipop.
Oh my!
So you will get your and you'll get to have it the way you want and things like that. You can get fixed up. You can get fixed up with their theme. Like that's usually when I need something done with the ship, I just go up to say, "Hey, baby girl," that's what I call her. Baby girl, and I need this done, and she, "Oh, I handle it. Don't worry about it." And then a few days later, she comes back, "It's done." So I don't have to worry about it. Things like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
look at Diana's funky shit.
Oh my Lord.
It looks.
What it is? It's a walking path, so you can take the dogs out. That's what that long strip is.
She doesn't fly. She's got her own pilot guy. Tell them about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a picture of him too.
Oh my goodness, Diana.
So
you're amazing.
This is the Viceroy. It's been upgraded. I know that this looks like the front wheel of a rake on a Harley Davidson, but it's not.
Yep, it's not.
It's more like the cow catcher on a train. And I have a dome. The inside the dome is Run G. And Run G is my what should I call him? Because he's my chauffeur, and he looks just like Todd Rundgren. But Todd Rundgren when he was like 17, 18 years old.
Handsome
so I call him Run G because of his looking like him. I'd like to get a hold of him. Oh my gosh, of course. Now I can't find it, right?
He's Pleiadian, you know that.
Well, that makes sense because I can find it finally I got back to the whole collection here. Tell me that ain't the face of a Palladian.
Yeah,
Oh my.
Palladian.
Yeah. Yep. Wowee.
So he still looks like that, except now he does all kinds of crazy things with his hair. And, you know, he's put on a few pounds because he's in his 70s, but he's not quite as narrow in the face. But if you think about it, him and Tom Petty, when Tom Petty was a teenager, that same thing,
Same
that
type
same
of look.
appearance was there. Even Elvis. And what happens, these guys get burnt up for a lot of reasons because they're not allowed to be who they really are. Well, Todd's one of those who was able to escape that because of the generation. Tom didn't grow up the same way as Todd did. So Tom had a harder time of it. And of course, you know, what got him in the end was the pain of it all.
Sure.
So anyway,
I could go longer if you want. I mean, this is fun.
Okay. Well, I was going to say they're asking you to come back, so we'll probably have to have another show eventually here.
yeah.
But you know, Paul, it's so cute because you thought, well, what are we going to talk about? But look at this, Paul. I mean, people are.
I just let the conversation
let
take
them ask. Yeah.
take their route that they want. I mean,
That's right.
I
So
can tell all kinds of stories, but you know, sometimes I wonder if I should.
no, I know. So Donna had this dream, and an earbud was put in her ear, and it was really loud. She took it out, and it was adjusted back in. It was a little blue seed. Remember, she's not feeling well. Remember in the beginning we talked about her?
Oh, okay. Donna, they do come to take care of us. Now, here's something I would like you to do. When you wake up and you open your eyes, whatever you're looking at, does a grid begin to appear? Each little square, say they're 1.5 to 2 inches square on the ceiling. Quite often I wake up and I roll over to my back before I open my eyes, and the whole ceiling is covered in it. And I happen to catch the remnants of light codes going off. Those light codes are being sent to designated areas in your body to assist with healing, upgrade, crystallization of the Karman base, etc., etc. So can I read all those codes? No, but Kelly Healer, she's the one who is programming those codes ever so often. You had a ship come through your ceiling. That ship is where those codes are coming from. That is the medical ship that's above you, sending those rays down to you. Does it have to be over you? No. But it is there for you to understand. You see it. It's there for you to understand that it is your designated doctor.
So I just had a memory from being 10 years old again. And remember, that's when I saw my UFO.
Yeah.
And I used to be in my classroom in 6th grade, and I would see all these white dots in front of my eyes. And and I would count them. And I got in trouble with my mom. She said, don't do that. You know, don't do that. The people think you're crazy. And now when you said that, it's like, oh my God, they've been trying to work with me forever. Oh, Lord, I had no idea. Okay.
When I get the downloads, it's like when you close your eyes and you have that dark area there, and then a screen shows up. It's like a computer screen, and then there's text going, and with pictures and everything else. And it's like, okay, slow down. It's too fast. You can't read it. I mean, that's when the download is coming down. I mean, or your ear starts ringing. You know, my ears ring all the time. There's nothing you can do about it.
Most everybody in the chat knows that I was having a rough time this morning because Terry was putting my name in the group, etc., and everybody was sending me all this healing energy, which thank you very much because it lightened up and helps feeling much. So in that, I haven't said anything to her yet, and I'm sitting on the couch and I close my eyes. I don't rub them. I just close my eyes. And as I open them through this Tudor window that I have sitting up here in my windowsill, it's an antique. This figure comes walking in. Now, I have to say, his face is the same shape as Todd Runji, but it's not Runji. And at first I thought he had a beard. And another way for me to describe it is if you've seen the image on the Shroud of Turin, it's very square, very block-like, very from shoulder to body, face, everything. Runji has that face. Tom Petty, as a teenager, had that face. So he comes through the window, comes towards me, and then disappears. And I know it wasn't Runji. And I know it wasn't Yeshua. So I sent Terry this text, not about what I had just seen, but about the way I was feeling and that I wasn't going to be in the chat. And she says, there's a white figure standing behind you. That's who came through. She goes, Merlin, Paul, or Jesus? I went, I'm going with tall Paul because I know it wasn't Runji and it wasn't Yeshua because that's not how Yeshua appears to me. So,
wow, amazing.
She picked that up this morning without me having said anything to her. And that's where he went. Wow. I was able to sit back for the first time since I'd gotten up.
It's amazing.
Well, you know, I've been able to sleep the nights now since that Diana told me about the
oh yeah, we wanted to talk about that.
No, thanks, which you didn't touch. I mean, that's a subject that people probably need to hear.
Sure, lymph nodes. Yeah.
That's work. So I've been my regimen now. You know, I do that and I walk, and then I have a big cup of chamomile tea.
Good.
Beautiful.
And that's at night before I go to sleep. And then I put on, you know, the YouTube, you know, fall asleep music, you know, the type that relaxing. And I close my eyes for a while until I almost start falling asleep. And then I go to sleep and I sleep. Yeah. I still get the a little bit of a cramps, but it's not like before. I mean, it's like towards the end of the night, usually. That means I'm not drinking enough water when I get up to go to the restroom or whatever. So I got to drink a little more water during the night. So
right. And even if you just take a sip when that happens, because then you're replenishing and you're not giving your body time to dehydrate. And before you have tea or coffee or anything else in the morning, just drink some simple water to help replenish the dehydration that we get through the night as our body is flushing toxins out.
People get dehydrated at night, and they usually don't understand that. My kidneys are working pretty good. I mean, I got a kidney doctor. I just got a bunch of blood work done, and he goes, you know, for a guy your age, you're doing fine, so you don't need to worry about it. So I do get it checked regularly. I'm not messing around because I have high blood pressure, and you know the medication. It is working. I mean,
good. And I did put those videos in the show notes if anybody's interested that Paul sent me.
Oh yeah, I send them to you.
Yep.
So at least
I put them down in there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Dr. Perry.
Yeah.
So those are very good videos. I mean, the guy has a show for about an hour and a half that he explained why it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have the time, I mean, that's probably good to listen to at least once, and then the routine you can do it in about 5 minutes or even less, depending.
Yeah.
Good.
And I do it 4 times a day.
Yeah, I started doing it 3 times. You know, once in the morning, once in the middle of the day or something, and then just once before I go to sleep. And I do feel the difference. So it works.
Sure. Wow.
And words to live by: you are what you eat.
Well, that's very true.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Along with your
no more Doritos, kids. Sorry.
I don't know Doritos. You know, I got back on the cold cuts. I love cold cuts, and I stopped that. That's it.
Yeah,
that's no more for me.
Yeah.
So
plus, don't have stinking thinking. There you go. Wow. Well, I'm just gonna plan to ask Paul and Diana to come back, since this is so wonderful. If they want to do that, we will let you know ahead of time. And what I'm going to do then is I'm also going to put a post on my wall that says they're coming back at this time. Do you have questions? So that we will have those, and I can let Paul and Diana know, and we'll follow through on that. So
that's awesome.
I'm game if Diana's game too.
Oh, yeah.
She enjoyed it too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I need to learn more about this because I'm the bridge.
This is fun. This is fun. I really do think this is fun. And I'm trying out new hardware. I mean, I just got this hardware for free from my son's work.
Okay.
New hardware. They just gave it to him. Here, give your dad this. Because they, they go through a lot of stuff, and they just change their computers all the time. So here's a brand new computer.
Yeah.
Out of the box.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I said, okay, I'll take it.
Really? That's great. Well, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry we couldn't get to everybody's questions and so on and so forth, but we'll be back, I guess. And we'll, and thank you, Paul, and thank you, Diana. I know we have so much more to talk about. So
we could.
We could. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Blessings.